Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Good news for Nigerians as Health Minister Professor W.H.O says the country has successfully blocked the spread of Ebola virus disease. Enugu State Deputy Governor impeached for running poultry farm in official quarters. Rain of eulogies for Professor Dora Akunyili as President Jonathan leads other dignitaries to a requiem mass held in Abuja. And Egypt brokers peace between Israel and Palestine over Gaza. A quick reminder to you now that all our top stories are on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Now do visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. And we urge you to interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android, iOS and Windows 8 platforms. If you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and then follow the instructions. Well, here are some of the pictures and videos that were sent in by our Eyewitness reporters. We begin in Lagos with this video of an accident in the 7-Up area caused by reckless driving. The Eyewitness reporter says the vehicle flipped over several times. And still in Lagos is this pedestrian bridge without a guardrail in the Igomu area. Our Eyewitness reporter considers it a death trap. Now also in Lagos is this picture of what Alpha Beach now looks like, and the sea is already flowing into the streets due to the sand filling of the beach. We cross over to Bayelsa, where floods have taken over this residential area after a heavy rainfall in Agudama. And finally, from Abuja, those are cows which have taken over the Federal Capital Territory Road in Kubwa. Our Eyewitness reporter is calling on the city managers to do something about the situation caused by cattle rearers. We'd like to thank you all for sending in your pictures and to ask you to please keep them coming. Now, the impeached former deputy of Enugu State, that's the former deputy governor, Mr. Sunday Onyebuchi, has been speaking on the decision of the State House of Assembly to remove him from office for alleged misconduct. The former deputy governor told Channels Television that he's not surprised by the action of the lawmakers, as it was all scripted. The impeachment proceeding was presided over by the Speaker, Mr. Eugene Odo, but the motion for impeachment was moved by the House leader, Mr. Sunday Udokoye, and it was unanimously adopted by the 24 legislators in the House. The 7-man impeachment panel had submitted its report in 3 volumes and indicted the deputy governor, saying he was guilty of all the charges brought against him.
After weeks of uncertainty, members of the Enugu State House of Assembly on Tuesday impeached the deputy governor of the state, Sunday Onyebuchi. Onyebuchi's impeachment comes on the heels of his indictment by a 7-man panel of inquiry set up to investigate allegations brought against him by members of the State House of Assembly. The panel, in its report, believes Mr. Onyebuchi is guilty of the allegations leveled against him, and lawmakers adopted the report of the panel after its leader, Ude Okoye, moved a motion for its adoption.
And it is hereby adopted.
The former deputy governor is accused of running an illegal poultry in his official residence and also refusing to represent Governor Sullivan Chime at official functions in spite of directives from the governor. All of these, the lawmakers say, amounts to gross misconduct on Mr. Onyebuchi's part. Mr. Onyebuchi, however, denies the allegations.
It was the panel that now talked about operation of a commercial poultry. And even where evidence was produced that a bigger poultry exists in government house, because I've had the opportunity to read the report, they concluded that they were not set, even though the evidence was produced, but they were not set up to investigate the activities in government house. The allegation that I refused to represent him at Southeast Governors Forum meeting, they chose to believe the chief of protocol rather than believe the evidence I submitted before them. So, as the proceedings of the panel was going on, I got convinced that I will be found guilty. So the summary is that I am not surprised in any way.
The embattled deputy governor didn't just stop at denying these allegations. He says he will pursue the matter to a logical conclusion.
From the time we knew the direction the panel was going, I had discussion with my lawyers, and I believe in a few days' time they'll be able to put together something that we take to court.
For now, Mr. Onyebuchi stands impeached, and it is expected that his replacement will be announced soon.
Well, we have a bit more information on our lead story. That's the containment of Ebola. Now, this is just coming into us. Considering the effect of the Ebola virus disease in the country, the federal government today announced October the 14th as the new resumption date for both public and private schools in the country. This follows the meeting between the Minister of Education and the 36 state commissioners for education in Abuja. The federal government also suspended all summer programs run by private schools. Both public and private schools are also to train 2 members of staff each to detect cases of Ebola. They are also to acquire the temperature device to check possible cases of Ebola among children. Again, just to say that considering the effects of the Ebola virus disease in the country, the federal government today announced October the 14th as the new resumption date for both public and private schools in the country. All summer programs have also been suspended. That's the ones run by private schools. They are also to acquire the temperature device to check possible cases of Ebola among children. The former Foreign Affairs Minister and a leader of the All Progressive Congress, Chief Tommy Kimmy, has finally announced his withdrawal from the All Progressive Congress. Chief Kimmy became estranged from the APC following what he termed lack of due process in the emergence of the party's national chairman, Chief John Oyegun, during the APC National Convention held in Abuja in June. Chief Kimmy, who signified his intention to vie for the position, was allegedly forced to drop his ambition and pave way for the emergence of Chief Oyegun, who was believed to be a candidate of the national leader of the party, Chief Bola Tinubu. It's not clear yet which party Chief Kimmy plans to align with. Now we're going to look at preparations for the general elections next year. And while politicians are strategizing ahead of the elections, some concerned Nigerians are devising methods of preventing electoral fraud and post-election violence. In view of this, a civil society organization, the Transition Monitoring Group, has launched a quick count methodology. The group says the method will enable election observers send reports via coded text messages about activities in polling stations across the country.
Having tested the quick count methodology in the 2011 general elections and other staggered governorship elections in the country, the Transition Monitoring Group believes the quick count method will provide a better platform for comparing results announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission in next year's general elections. According to the chairman of the group, the quick count method will give voters confidence in the electoral process and prepare them for informed engagement. The integrity of the process is, however, based on the neutrality and objectivity of observers in the field. While the percentage of error in past trial of this method was minimal, officials say they're working hard not to compromise the process.
We verify every information about you. We don't just recruit. That's why 6 months to election, as you will observe, we're already here launching the so because it takes a very rigorous, so as we speak now, we are still cleaning up the register of even the state coordinating committees. We have them now, but from time to time, we monitor their movement, we monitor their distance, irrespective of the credentials they have produced to us and the verification we have done. We ensure that at the end of the day, 100%, we are not partisan. We have credible observers.
They have a sense of what the results, as compared to what the official result is. They have a sense of how the elections have been conducted in a more scientific rather than the traditional method.
Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission says it will monitor activities of independent observers during the elections to avoid feeding the public with inaccurate reports.
We recognize that not all observer groups have the financial muscle to train all its field workers. So what the Commission has done in partnership with IFES is to undertake a training of trainers. We train their own trainers before they deploy the observers to the field. This we do at no cost to all observer groups.
While INEC is working towards the general elections next year, several groups like the TMG are warming up to monitor and report activities of officials and the electorate during the elections.
To security matters now, the military has confirmed that the 480 Nigerian troops that moved to Cameroon in what it described as a tactical maneuver have returned home. The Defense Headquarters on its Twitter handle today said the troops have been addressed by the General Officer Commanding 3 Division, Major General John Zarua, and are to embark on another mission in the counter-terrorism campaign. It added that all the soldiers are in high spirits with all their weapons and equipment intact. When the news at 10 returns, latest figures from the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and that will be on Business News. Stay with us.